Hi, we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community, and try to live a more sustainable life.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Escape to El Campo. Sorry it's been 3 weeks since our last video. I'm sure you've missed us dreadfully. However, we've been doing lots and lots of mundane tasks, and I didn't think you would be particularly interested in watching us weed 1/4 of an acre of potatoes, unless you have some sort of weeding of potatoes fetish, which I don't think is probably a thing. Might Google it afterwards and find out. Watch this space. No?
No,
Okay. No weeding fetishes here.
no.
Yeah, so we've been lots and lots of weeding. So that's taken up a lot of our time, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, and
be honest.
we had family come and stay with us for a few days as well. Adam's brother and eldest son came and spent a long weekend with us, and they also got involved on the weeding, so we don't even have any footage from that really.
No, we don't. Just they seem quite keen on weeding, didn't they? Really, especially my brother. He was particularly keen on getting up in the morning and doing some weeding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there we go. Each to his own. Maybe he's on the weeding fetish website.
That's not something I want to think about. We did spend 2 days out though, didn't we? We did go
yeah.
to Lugo for the day, and we did also go to Santiago de Compostela for the day. So
We did, yeah. So it was nice to get out and have a look and see some things that we've not seen before, even though we've been here and even though we've been to Santiago and Lugo
yeah.
a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, we'd been up the wall at Lugo, but we never walked all the way around it, had we?
No. So Lugo, I think I'm right in saying it's got the oldest, still intact Roman wall. It's a walled city. Our umbrella's moving above us in the wind slightly. We were just a bit.
I'm about ready to launch myself at it.
I'm about ready to launch myself out of the way so I don't get squished by it. Yeah, so this wall is really impressive. It's, I don't know, 5-7 meters wide at the top. You can get up and walk the whole perimeter around. Yeah, I think it's was it 2.2k around the perimeter, something like
Yeah,
that.
I think something like that. It's
Yes.
the oldest closed city.
Yeah, walled
Walled
city.
city,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the Roman walled city in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really impressive. We had a walk around there, and it was just nice to see the city from a different perspective. You know, being that little bit higher up, you can see into people's bedrooms, see what's going on, can't you?
Yeah. And even though you're in like a city, we're still looking at people's gardens like, oh yeah, they're growing potatoes.
Yeah,
Oh,
how their potatoes doing?
They've got some beans growing in their garden. I mean,
Yeah.
even though you're in the middle of a city, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Oh, one thing that struck us, and you see this all over Spain, is, you know, in the middle of a city, quite affluent, I would suggest, the amount of abandoned houses in the middle of the city. I mean,
yeah.
you know, if it was London, for example, or any city in the UK, I guess, you know, and you had that square meterage of land available for sale, somebody would be building something on there, wouldn't they?
100%, yeah.
But here, there just seems to be, you know, some of them are propped up with steel, RSJs and stuff, you know, raked at an angle to hold them up, and some of them, the roofs are completely collapsed in, or others have just been demolished straight through.
Yeah, well, demolished straight through, but you've still got like the ceiling beams in
Well,
place,
I think that's
or...
to keep the other
Yeah,
houses on each
absolutely.
side from coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really strange that. Anyway, that's an aside. So yeah, that was good. We enjoyed having them over for those few days.
Yeah, good to spend time together and get some help with the weeding.
And get some help with the weeding. Okay, so what else have we been up to in the last 3 weeks? Chickens. We had some new chickens. Some new meat chickens. Pollos, they're called, aren't they? Pollos. Here, not to be confused with gallinas, which are the egg-laying chickens, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, there's a lot of confusion when we first arrived, didn't it? In the shop.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, chickens. We've got some new chickens. 15 of the white ones.
Yeah, we've now eaten some of the white ones that we slaughtered first and some of the red ones that we slaughtered in the last video that you saw. And we've not really noticed the difference in the taste, even though we were told that they were going to have a different taste. So, seeing that the white ones grow quicker, we decided to go for some white ones.
Yeah, and there's much more breast on it, isn't there?
Yeah. Slightly, although the red ones were heavier in the end.
Yes, yeah, but I think they're more of a rounded bird, aren't they? You know.
Yeah.
You know, the legs are bigger, the breasts are smaller. Yeah, the white ones, I suppose they are bred for the breast meat.
Yeah.
The breast meat.
Oh God.
Yeah, so they're in, and so these guys came, and because, well, we think our theory is when they come, they were much smaller than the other ones, weren't they?
Yeah, they were tiny.
They were tiny, and we think it's probably to do with the weather. Now it's warm, you know, they can come outside, or as most people do, they keep them in barns. They don't have to worry about the weather getting cold or having a, you know. When the other ones came, we did have some really cold nights, didn't we?
Yeah, we did,
so I suppose being a bit bigger makes them a bit more hardy and resistant to those cold nights. Yeah, so these guys came, and they're a lot smaller.
It was a bit worrying at first because the sun would come out and then they like to lay down, and because of the height of the wood around the bottom of the chicken tractor, you just like have a look over, and because after we lost the hen, I'm forever sort of looking to make sure they're all okay. And then you couldn't see them. I run over, where's all the chickens gone? And it's because they were lying down and it made them so small they were kind of hiding behind the wood.
Yeah, which is not a problem anymore now, is it?
No, they've grown ever so fast, and now they're just, I think they're probably the same size now as what they were when we got the other ones.
When the other ones came, yeah.
Yeah, but they look so much healthier now than what them was when we got them.
And the bonus to these ones, I've got a bit of footage to show you how much they've grown. But the bonus to these ones is, I think, because when they're so much smaller, they can actually get themselves up into the nesting area, can't they, at night? So they're putting themselves away at night. So we don't have to have a little race around the chicken tractor every night, catching chickens and getting pecked and putting them to bed every night, do we? They put themselves to bed, which is great. So this is our next batch of meaty hens, or pollos as they're called here. 3 weeks now, about 3 weeks and a day, I think it is. So that's how long since our last video, because we just, I think we just got them, if memory serves. So here they are. They've grown considerably since we last had them. No, since we put them in 3 weeks ago. Some marigolds out of the polytunnel just to keep the flies away. It's a natural sort of fly deterrent, insect deterrent. It's working to a certain degree. Yeah, and like the previous batch, they're eating and growing like Bilio. So we made some changes to the chicken tractor, which seemed to have worked really well. The door now opens outwards instead of inwards, which is brilliant. And that allowed me to extend the ramp only by, I don't know, 30 centimeters maybe. But these guys, I don't know whether it's because they come to us when they were much younger, much smaller. These guys put themselves to bed at night, so we don't have any issues with having to come up here every night to chase them around like we did with the last 19 and put them into their beds. Yeah, these guys are great. They're very sort of self-sufficient. Yeah, so they're still being moved every day. Moved them this morning, so you can see the sort of mess they leave within a day. But as I pointed out before, if you look at the grass here, you can see where the previous chickens have been, just here and here. That's back in focus. Yep, so you can see where the previous chickens have been, with how green the grass is on those patches. And you can, you know, if you look around the garden, you can see the trail of where we've moved it around the garden, and the grass is so much more lush and green in those areas. So it clearly does the job.
It's even more great because obviously the sun goes down a lot later now. The doors on the things don't close till 10 now, do they?
No, quarter to 11.
Quarter to 11.
Yeah.
So we're not having to do it quite so late at night. What we would have to do, I suppose, if we were still having to put them away. So
yeah,
double win.
So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so chickens a go. So another 15 ready. Well, in a few weeks. What do we think? 2 months.
Yeah, another 2 months.
Another couple of months, they'll be ready for the freezer, and then we might have time to get one more batch of 15 raised and grown into the freezer before the winter comes. I think.
And that should just about tie us over before we're ready to start with the next batch next year.
Next spring, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
that's good. Yeah,
absolutely.
And we're really enjoying eating them, actually, aren't we?
Yeah, they're great.
They are very, very tasty.
It's
very
amazing
tasty.
as well because they are so big as well. They're lasting at least 2 meals, and sometimes they're lasting 3 meals as well, aren't they? So there's so much meat on them. It's great.
And for a family of 4 to last at least 2 meals is, you know, it's great value, really, isn't it? So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what else we've been up to apart from weeding? I don't know if we mentioned, but we've been weeding. What else have we done?
Ooh, the kids finished school last week on Friday. Which is incredibly early, and I thought originally that they had 10 weeks summer holiday. Turns out that they've got 11 weeks summer holiday. So if anyone's got any amazing ideas on what we can do with them for the next now 10 weeks, that would be great, because apparently weeding is boring and they don't really like to get involved in that. But so they finished school on Friday, and then we had to pop back in again on Tuesday to go and get all of their exam results. And they've passed everything, haven't they?
They have done, yeah.
They didn't take exams in Galician because obviously they're not learning Galician just yet. They've got another year before they've got to take exams in them. And they don't have to pass Spanish because obviously they're not fluent in that yet. But Zane did pass Spanish somehow. By the skin of his teeth, I think he managed to pass that as well. And we weren't sure whether they were going to pass French, because apparently learning a third language from a second language is quite difficult. I mean, I don't see what the problem is myself, do you? But yeah, I mean, they've even both passed French, so honest to God, I don't think that we could be any more proud of them and what they've done. We've got to give a big shout out to our Spanish teacher, Victoria, at the Seaweed Language School, who we all have an hour lesson with each, and we have done now for about 18 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's been a great support for us and for the kids, so that's really helped them as well. But I think that for all the difficulties that they've had with the language, and with, especially because some of the lessons and some of the exams are also in Galician, so even though they're not allowed to learn the language yet until they're fluent in Castilian, they still do have some of their lessons and some of their tests in Galician. I think that they've done absolutely phenomenal, and we're incredibly proud of them, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've seen a real difference since do we have a week off to Easter? I think this last term, since Easter, I think they've both sort of really improved even more rapidly than previously. I think they've perhaps settled in, they're more comfortable at school, they know what to expect. You know, they've learned much more Spanish than obviously than they had before, and that's, you know, it's shown in their school results as well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
so, yeah.
So,
Brilliant.
Yeah. Well done, kids.
Well done, kids. Well done. What else has happened? Oh, our driving licenses finally turned up, didn't they?
Yeah, and our medical cards.
And our medical cards.
Yeah.
So we're all carded up now, aren't we? We've
Yeah.
got all the cards that we need.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Don't say there's more. Surely to God there's not any more.
Is there any more paperwork that we have to do?
Of course there is.
I don't think there is.
There's always paperwork in Spain. How many forms did you have to fill out at the school the other day to register them back at school for next year?
It was ridiculous. So we went in, when we got the exam results, I then had to pay €3 each for the children to be given a pack of forms that I had to then fill out. And there was a form to say that they were going to go for lunch with the school every Monday. And then a form to say, are they allowed to get on the bus to have lunch on a Monday. And then there was another form to say, are they allowed to get on and off that bus by themselves on a Monday. And then the form to say they want to transport to and from school. And then another form to say, are they allowed to get on and off that bus by themselves? Then there was 3 different paperworks for what, because they get to choose their second language. Their second language, because we're not counting Spanish. So their foreign languages are English and French.
Yeah.
But they could have chosen between French and Portuguese. But because we've already done a year in French, they've got to carry on with French. But there was 3 different paperworks for saying all of them. Then there was a bit of paperwork saying they were allowed to share their photos online. Then there was another form that I had to fill out for their little student ID cards. And each of these forms had their names, their addresses, their ID card numbers, our names and our ID card numbers.
Date of birth.
It took me about 2 hours, bearing in mind that all of these forms are also in Galician. So I'm sat there with my little phone taking photos and translating it. It was, yeah, so they really do love their paperwork. It's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah, so there will be more paperwork coming.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
Without
a doubt.
Yeah, we're still waiting for planning permission for the solar panels, which has been going on for a couple of months now, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
We've been told a couple of times that it will be done this week, but it's still not turned up.
No.
So,
I mean, it's a shame as well, because it's such a beautiful day today that...
yeah, we've had lots of beautiful... Summer has arrived, by the way. I know in the UK it's quite warm, but we've been having equally as rubbish weather as you guys, and even though we've had glimpses of summer previously, it's certainly arrived, and it's sleeping on top of the duvet time at night now. Because it's that warm of an evening.
Apart from the other day when we were all working outside, we were all on with our own little jobs. No, you weren't. You were inside, weren't you? Me and the kids were outside working, and you could just suddenly hear ping, 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 and you looked out the window. What on earth's going on? And then something suddenly hit me. What the bloody hell is that? And it was hailing, but it was like
like marbles,
huge,
weren't they? Like marbles.
Flipping ridiculous. And then all of a sudden the heavens just opened. You ran outside to put the tractor away. I was in the middle of cleaning the chickens out, so I had to flip and put all of that away. And Scarlett quickly grabbed all of these cushions and took them all in. And by the time,
we're all soaked, weren't we?
Yeah, we were all soaked, but by the time we'd finished sort of putting everything away and getting inside,
it stopped.
And the sun came back out. But that was it.
Well, we're all
then.
drenched then, weren't we?
Yeah.
That's summertime, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. But summer's here, and we're missing out on some solar panel electricity. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll catch up.
I'm sure we will. Oh, we went to acre with the neighbours the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, we had an afternoon in A Coruña. Zane had to go to the hospital. A meeting in A Coruña, which is an hour and 45-minute drive from here.
Yeah.
So we decided that his appointment was just before lunch. So I took the afternoon off, and we had we spent the rest of the day there, didn't we? Just having a wander around, walking up and down the seafront.
Yeah.
It's very nice there.
It is very nice there.
Yeah, I think we've explained before. You got this sort of juxtaposition where you're looking out to sea, and you got beautiful white sands in front of you, and it looks so natural and beautiful with the waves crashing on the rock. And then you do a 180 turnaround, and you just skyscrapers in front of you. It's really strange, isn't it?
Really bizarre.
Strange. You know.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This city's sort of grown up on the literally on the seafront, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
But it's nice there, and it was warm, but it was quite breezy. I don't think the Spanish would particularly call it warm, but there was lots of people on the beach, weren't there? And even a couple of brave souls were in the sea, weren't there?
Yeah, there were. Yeah. Fair play to them. Not us though.
No, we were too busy. Too busy walking up and down, and then we had to go clothes shopping because Zane has the summer's hit Zane, and he's grown, hasn't he?
Like in the last 3 months, I reckon he's grown about, I don't know, 50 centimetres. It's ridiculous.
So we had to go clothes shopping with Zane because he's outgrown all his clothes.
Yeah. And Acre has the biggest shopping centre, and they call it, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like something city, and it really genuinely was like a city.
It was
wasn't
massive,
it?
wasn't
It was
it?
flipping ridiculous.
Yeah.
But everything that you wanted there and more. But
And stuff that you didn't want as well.
stop being grumpy.
They actually had a go-karting track inside the mall, didn't they? It's a shopping centre.
Shopping
More
centre.
for any Americans out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the shopping centre, they had a go-kart track inside it, which I've never seen that before.
No, not inside a
But
shopping centre.
we are country bumpkins, so perhaps it's commonplace. I don't know.
No, perhaps. But yeah, that was a pretty cool day.
Yeah. What else been doing?
Oh, I harvested the garlic.
Oh yeah. Our garlic, which we planted, it was almost one of the first things we planted when we got here, wasn't it? After we put the polytunnel up.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So in the very first bed that we set out, we planted garlic in there, and we'd read you were supposed to harvest it on the 21st, longest day, and then the locals here harvest their garlic on the festival of San Juan, which is a celebration to ward off evil spirits, I think,
Yeah.
but linked to the longest day. It's a couple of days afterward, but it's linked to the longest day. So that's when they take their garlic out.
Yeah.
Who's being Clarks? We're late with everything.
Well, actually, everything I read online says not to do it if the ground's wet.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I waited till today when it was
dried
sunny
out
and
a
it's
bit.
dried out a bit. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why you have to wait until the ground's dry, but
Yeah, but we have been told not to do weeding when the ground's wet as well, haven't we?
there is a method behind. There is a reason behind that.
A
as
madness behind the method.
There is a madness behind the method. Is because we've lost a couple of the cucumbers inside the polytunnel because we mentioned again in the last video, if you've seen it, that there's a fungus problem on some of our new trees that we've got, some of our fruit trees, and some of the apples at the front, they've got this fungus. And I think that this fungus has got itself onto the cucumbers inside the polytunnel as well. Normally it's derived from the seeds, but if they're wet and you're touching them or they're touching other things, it transfers easier.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and if there is that fungus in the ground, and obviously you're touching the ground and then you're touching the leaves, whatever you're doing, then you're spreading
Transferring it.
But if it's dry, then the chances of you being able to transfer it is a lot slimmer.
Oh, okay, that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why we're not allowed to weed when it's wet. Even though, let me tell you, that grass is so much easier to pull out when the ground's wet.
Yeah.
Our neighbour behind us with the cow farm, she can sort of see us from her kitchen window. And when when Dean and Max were here, she saw us weeding the potatoes and she rang me and she says, "No, you can't weed when it's wet." And we thought, well, that's a bit weird.
Bit strange, but
when it's so much easier.
we stopped weeding.
But
didn't
we stopped. Yeah, we did
For
as
a
we were
bit.
told. But yeah, that's why.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, because
So spreading of
bacteria and fungus.
pathogens.
Pathogens.
That's a good word, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
word for today.
Pathogens.
Yes. That's why I'm paid the big bucks.
So yeah, there you go. You learned something now,
Yeah, I
haven't
did.
you?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it was just some local hocus pocus. But clearly that sort of makes sense. There's some logic behind that. I like that.
Good afternoon from a sort of overcast Galicia actually today. After about a week now of solid boiling hot sunshine, it's nice to be outside and not to be melting actually. Still quite bright though, so not complaining. Not cold either, so definitely not complaining. But today it is time to harvest the garlics, which you can just about make out behind me. This bed is the most overridden with that nasty grass stuff that we've got here, And as you can see, I've not really been keeping on top of weeding in there. So I'm going to use a fork to get it all up. And while I'm in there, I'm going to get rid of as much of this nasty weed as we can. And obviously I'll bring you along with me. So that's it, I'm done. Took me a bit longer than what I thought it was going to, but that's probably because as I was going along, I was trying to get as much of the grass out as I possibly could. I've got to be honest with you though, near the end I was getting a bit bored, and I knew that Adam was making lunch and I was hungry, so I am going to have to go back over here again, especially at this end, to get rid of these last few bits. But three of them big buckets loads of grass I took out of here as well. We have this problem with the whole of this bed. I mean, you can see there the grass in between these Galician cols. The only part of this bed that we are religious with the weeding is at the other end where the strawberries are, which I'm going to show you because actually I'm really pleased with them, considering that they are runners from plants last year that a neighbour gave us. They're doing all right. So obviously because they're so much smaller, they are easily overwhelmed by grass, so I'm a lot more strict in getting the grass out. She says, and you can clearly see grass, but you know. But yeah, we're not getting an abundance of strawberries. You wouldn't expect to the first year from runners, but there's enough for us to have a couple each every day as a little snack. So my job now with the garlic is to tie them together in bunches of 4 or 5, and then we'll hang them in our cold room for the next 4 weeks or so for them to completely dry out. And once they've done that, I have to give them a good clean, take the tops and the roots off, and then they're ready for storage. And hopefully we've got a year's worth of garlic there. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with them. Let me show you what a couple of them look like. So there's a right mixture of sizes. I mean, this is a proper big bad boy, and you can see that all of the cloves have nicely formed inside as well, so there's going to be a good load of cloves in there. And some of them, like this one, not so big. Still though, he's got his little individual cloves in there as well, so that's nice. I did notice that some of them hadn't made cloves at all. I mean, I think this one's only got 2 cloves to it, maybe 3 cloves to it. But he's only a baby, so they'll probably be alright. But then like others like this one, he's got loads. So yeah, I mean, it should easily be a year's worth of garlic in there. Maybe even a couple extra to share with the neighbours, as they always share with us. So I'll crack on with that, and then it's on to the next job. So how many have you got?
How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
16.
16 times 5 is what, 80?
Is it?
Yeah?
Okay, 80. That's
80.
right, isn't it?
And I've got a bunch of 3 here, 83. And then there's some that haven't gone in bunches. This one didn't go into a bunch because it's split, and therefore it won't dry. That's got to be eaten. This one didn't go into a bunch because it's got some random bulbs growing up it. And then I've got 3 without tails. So what's that, actually 88?
Yeah, so probably 80 useful ones.
Yeah.
That's not bad, is it?
Is it going to last us a year?
Well, it's more than one a week, isn't it?
I think it's fair to say these are definitely going to last us a year. So we're going to put them in the cold room, leave them there for 4 weeks, and then
Get them hung up, get them dried. Let's go.
Cool.
So this is our cold room, and then that's how we've sort of hung them all up. Looks a bit weird, but we'll leave them in here now for 4 weeks, and we'll see them again soon.
So this is the polytunnel at the minute. I don't want to go into too much detail because we might do a complete review in the next couple of weeks, a sort of monthly review. But as you can see, the marigolds are going great, as are the tomatoes. Most of our time, where we've been for the last 3 weeks, has been spent on this area, weeding. My brother and my eldest son were here, and they have spent quite a bit of time weeding these along with us. Another row of potatoes. Emma's put another row of potatoes in as if we didn't have enough potatoes already. But talking of potatoes, this is where we spent most of our time. Still not quite completed it. Just this little patch here is very grassy still. But if we walk along here, you can see where we've been up and down the rows. I think this is a road that Scarlett and Zane did and didn't do this end, and they got fed up and walked off. But anyway, yeah, so we've spent a lot of time. This row needs weeding, but we've got majority of it weeding. Let's give the potatoes a real boost to get that grass out. But again, it's something we've got to get back on top of, because you can see already that it's beginning to grow back. So this is the maize that you saw me plant a couple of months back with our little seed planting machine. As you can see, it's going pretty well. Again, been completely overtaken by the weeds of various descriptions. And Pepe, our neighbour, he sent one of his tractors down there the other day. You can just see the tracks marks in there, and he sprayed this for us. Sprayed this maize because he was spraying his field. Have a quick look. This is his field behind us, so he was in there spraying that for weeds. So he's come down here and the tractor's gone in, basically drove in, put the spraying arms out, sprayed it, drove out. I mean, it's that small, and that should take care of most of these weeds. However, it won't take care of the couch grass, which we're gonna have to get in there and physically pull out, as we did with the potatoes over there. We're told that the couch grass is so bad because the land hasn't been worked for 2 or 3 years. But now we're here and we're on it. Next year should be better, and the year after that should be better again, and the year after that should be better again. Always keep our fingers crossed because it's taken an inordinate amount of time keeping on top of it, or not keeping on top of it and then having to blitz it, and then you turn your back for 30 seconds and guess what? It's growing back again.
You're talking of local hocus pocus. The night of San Juan, you are supposed to fill a bucket of water. Fill a bucket with water, and there's specific herbs or flowers that you're supposed to put in this water overnight, and then wash your face with it the following morning.
The lady of the house, or everybody?
I think the lady of the house.
Yeah. So did you do that?
No.
I can tell.
We're in for a bad year, folks. Another local legend, another local thing that they do here is that all of this grass that we've been pulling out, lots of people save it in a pile to burn next year to stop the next year from getting so much grass.
Does it like ward off the grass spirits?
Shall we say yeah?
There might be something behind it, you don't know, do you? I
don't
know.
There might be something behind it.
I doubt it, but it could do.
I think that the whole not weeding wet soil thing makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, can you tell that I've been spending lots of time with neighbours recently?
Yeah. Been doing a bit of walking, haven't we?
You have.
Well,
I've tried not to.
You're trying to avoid me.
Not you. Not trying to avoid you.
So in September, I'm doing the Camino de Santiago. Not the really tricky one from France. The one from Porto in Portugal. So it's 12 days of walking, which I'm doing with my two brothers. They're flying into Porto. Obviously I'm Emma's maybe dropping me off. I might get the bus down, we'll see. I'm meeting them in Porto, and then we're gonna walk back up to Santiago on the Camino. So I've been getting a bit of training in, because we got a bit flabby of late, and I need to lose a bit of poundage for walking, and get used to wearing a rucksack and stuff like that, and harden my feet up. So yeah, we've been going out most nights, haven't we? Doing at least 5 kilometers. Some nights we've been doing 10k, which takes a couple of hours to do. So yeah, it takes quite a bit of time up, doesn't it? It's quite time intensive, really.
Yeah.
Even though it's really nice and relaxing. And we haven't been eaten by any dogs yet, which I think is a bonus.
Nice and relaxing are not words that I would use to describe walking.
Oh, do you not?
No, not really. I find it
Boring.
Yeah.
Is it just the company?
No, not at all. I mean, I definitely couldn't go out by myself. Definitely not. I could go out for a 10k run. I mean, I couldn't because I'm not fit enough, but yeah, walking's not for me, I'm afraid. Just doesn't really have a purpose. It's just...
Let's get from A to B. And what? And running does have a purpose.
Well, it does if I'm entered into a race that I can't get fit for.
Well, I'm entered into a walk I need to get fit for.
You have.
I'm not going to ask you again. And it's good when Emma comes along as well, because I have a 5k route one way and a 5k route the other way. The problem is the 5k route one way ends at 2.5k, and there's a pub there. So sometimes I get distracted by the pub. But when Emma's with me, she don't let me. So she like beats me with a stick to stay away from the pub. Don't you?
I wouldn't beat you with a stick. That's a bit harsh. And just remind you.
So I'm losing a bit of weight from the walking. I'm losing a bit of weight by not having a beer in the bar at the end of the road. Yeah. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to help.
That's it for this week then, guys. Thanks for joining us again, and hopefully it won't be 3 weeks until our next one. Even though we do have more weeding to do. But we have got some other little projects lined up to get on with, haven't we?
Yeah, so
yeah,
we shall hopefully see you again next week.
Yeah, have a good weekend. Enjoy the weather if it's nice where you are.
Ciao.
Bye.